Monday, April 15th, tax day. So sorry about that, but welcome back to the Damon Bruce Show here on the Plus, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches, and it is awesome to have you back here. Thanks so much for coming on by. Didn't have a show on Friday because I had a little Daddy Jack Day. It went fantastic. It is great, though, to be back on schedule. Should be a very fun week. We're getting closer to the NFL draft. We're getting closer to the last hurrah of the Golden State Warriors, and Blake Snell isn't anywhere close to the strike zone, and we'll get to all of that too. But there are a few things to go over here, and it's great to have you here. Please hit like and subscribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one. Do you realize that Tuesday night could be the final time Klay Thompson ever plays in a Golden State Warriors uniform? I don't want to get like all sappy and romantic about something like that until that actually happens. But it could be the last game for Klay Thompson in a Golden State Warriors uniform. Could be the last game for Chris Paul in a Golden State Warriors uniform. If the Warriors are going to radically reinvent themselves, and it feels like they need a little bit of a radical reinvention, last game for Steph Curry in a Golden State Warriors? No, not at all. First name Steph and last name Curry. He's not going anywhere. But man, I don't know how the Warriors get themselves out of the situation that they're in. And the situation that they're in is kind of stuck. They're not really good enough to be a contender anymore. They're not bad enough to fall into some premium. That player that you pick in the draft is going to change the arc of the upcoming season. And they're in that dangerous area of a team that is, right on the edge of the playoffs. Right on the edge of the playoffs might be satisfying because it comes with a little bit of a playoff game, but it's also a bad place to be because you can kind of get stuck there. And boy, it feels like the Warriors are a little stuck where they are. One of the reasons why I came on just a scotch late with you today is because I was looking up some statistics on the Warriors here to sort of buttress my argument that something needs to change. And I think the most frustrating thing about the Warriors, again, they got the Kings in the play-in game, the 8-9 game in Sacramento. If Sacramento lights the beam, the Warriors season is over. Warriors, if they're the team that ends Sacramento seasons again, I don't know how you can necessarily get out of bed if you're a Kings fan and that happens again, right? Aren't you supposed to be, if you're Sacramento, the ascending team, passing the Warriors, yet here you are with them. You're not ascending at all. Not really. What a disappointing season for the Sacramento Kings. There's an argument to maybe be made that they're the most disappointing team in the NBA based on what we saw last year, the talent that we know they have, and the game that they're in. It's basically an NCAA tournament game tomorrow night for the Warriors and Kings. Survive and advance. So we'll see if it happens. But the entire season, and by the way, we did have a wake up, and kind of an abbreviated wake up because it didn't stream on both of our channels, but Larry and I got up and added 8:45 this morning. So the sip of the day has already passed, but cheers. Cheers to you. Great to have you here. Dude, I'm telling you. The entire premise of the Warriors season was based off of one, this guy for that guy. The entire year was based off one, this guy for that guy, which was supposed to change everything, and it didn't. Jordan Poole out, Chris Paul in. That move alone was supposed to be such a radical difference in the way the Warriors weren't going to turn the ball over anymore, that was going to be 6 to 9 more wins right there. As a matter of fact, I remember being at the Trace Jackson Davis, Brandon Pajemski introductory press conference. I've got Steve Kerr in a corner. He's asking me why I'm not on the radio anymore. He thinks that's all weird, and we're kind of talking. And, eventually the conversation turns back around to the Warriors and Chris Paul, and it's all new at this time. And Steve said, look, our number people have done the math, and just Jordan Poole not turning it over, and Chris Paul not turning it over the way that Jordan Poole did, that right there alone is 5, 6, 7, 8 more wins for us in the next season on that one move alone. Well, the Warriors averaged more turnovers per game this season than the team that they traded Jordan Poole to. How? Isn't that some slop? Again, the Warriors serve turnovers more aggressively than any bakery or bed and breakfast you've ever been to. They are turnover machines. The reason why they didn't climb to the 8 seed is because their turnover machine nature against the New Orleans Pelicans revealed itself with 9 second quarter turnovers alone. They got off to a really nice start against the Pelicans and then stepped on their own dicks so hard that they couldn't help but give it all back to the Pelicans. Shame on them for losing that game. The Warriors dropped 20 games at home. Like, you're not serious. The way that they turn the ball over and then losing 20 times on their own home court, you're not a serious basketball team. Or you are such fart sniffers and believe your own bullshit so much so that you think you can still go out and win with the style that you used to play with. The Warriors used to have a schematic, strategic advantage on the rest of the NBA that no longer exists. That advantage that they have made up for the fact that they were careless with the basketball. Now they're just playing the exact same game that everybody in the NBA is playing along with them and turning it over like they're a lottery team. It's ridiculous how this is the one never been corrected element of the Warriors. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like, you got 2 future Hall of Fame point guards and you turn the ball over like you fall out of a clown car every single night you get to the arena. And that's why they are where they are. Like, they literally make a transition to get better in the one place where if they improve, they're going to improve as an entire basketball team, and it didn't happen. That's a failure of execution on the player's point. That's a failure of execution from a coaching standpoint. And it's just a failure of acknowledging what you need to get better at and then working towards it. The Warriors turn the ball over like slapdicks. 9th most turnovers in the NBA. The Wizards were 10th. Again, the Warriors turn the ball over 13.7 times per game. The Wizards, 13.5. The team that Jordan Poole joined was more careful with the ball than the Golden State Warriors. Come on. Like, you deserve what you get at that point. And they had they had an ability. They really had an ability to play through that problem that they no longer have, but they never acknowledged that. Like, there's the flag. It's been run up the flagpole. You're going to salute it or not? And they never bothered saluting the new flag of you have to be more careful with the basketball. And that's why they are where they are. Should the Warriors beat the Sacramento Kings? Yeah, I think that they should have enough championship DNA to go up there and win that game. Turning the lights out on the Kings is something that they've been known for over the past 2 seasons. They did it in a 7-game series last year. We'll see if they do it on Tuesday night. But again, it's the Warriors are just their entire problem. The reason why they're in the game that they're in is because they don't take care of the ball, and that's it. That's it. I don't want to hear about rotations. I don't want to hear, well, they're not big enough. For a team that's not big enough, they just led the NBA in rebounding. I'm really not sure how they did that, but they lead the NBA in rebounding. They're small, they're old, they're slow, yet they did that. When it comes to the assists, they still whip it around. 4th best at assists in the NBA, 4th most assists. As a team, they shot 38% from 3. When it comes to scoring hasn't been a problem. 118 points per game. That's tied with 4 other teams for the 5th best scoring average in the NBA. Even though it looked like at times the problem was scoring or the problem might be rebounding, it really wasn't that much of a problem. The problem, the incorrectable, uncorrected problem that the Warriors have had is the turnovers. And they didn't get any better. They got worse. So I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Speaking of not getting it, here's Otis. He's saying, he is talking with Old Dirty Hungus, saying, even though I really enjoy Damon here on YouTube, I do hope at some point he makes it back to KNBR 95.7 in some capacity. He's too good to not be on either station. Thank you, Otis. You're one of the nicest listeners I have. You have absolutely supported me in an incredible way. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Like, I think that opportunity that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. Like, KNBR is literally watching its entire business model be burnt down by a station. And I'm the guy who could literally on day one solve all of their problems. I don't care who in the 95.7 the game lineup you'd put me up against. I would destroy them. But no, they're just going to go with weekend board ops and what's left of Tom Tolbert. So good luck with that. Good luck with that. I don't see radio coming back to me. I don't see it. I mean, if it was going to happen, it probably would have happened within a calendar year. We're a calendar year removed from the layoff. I just don't think it's out there. Saying, thanks, Damon. I appreciate it, man. Well, you're such a good guy, Otis. You know that. But it is nuts, about the dying industry. Well, maybe they don't like you. Doesn't matter if they don't even like me. I could solve all your problems like that. But you don't want your problem solved, I guess. Or you're not paying for it anymore. So here we are. We're over here on YouTube, and I've never been happier with the shows I get to do. It's an awful lot of fun to come over here and hang out with you. And again, even though we're not, even though we're officially no longer doing Sip of the Day, that was a good one right there too. Went up and topped it off in between shows. Sam Bruno Mike is just saying it's real simple. Toothpaste is out of the tube with Damon on the Plus. There's no putting it back in. I kind of agree with that. My man, Big Mac 8675, smart man Damon, radio is dying. YouTube and streaming is now the future. Again, at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, a fact washed over me that has stayed with me. Every single radio station that was broadcasting from Radio Row had a YouTube component. Any single show that was there streaming wasn't interested in being on radio at all. Not one. So that's the direction the entire world is pointed in right now. Chef A saying, oh, did we hear that the Warriors have a new business? They're opening up a bakery. They're specializing in turnovers. Don't forget to tip your waitress. She'll be here all week. Chef A. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's just insane that Steve Kerr, all of his coaches, 2 future Hall of Fame point guards, Draymond, who is, supposed to be regarded as a future Hall of Famer himself, none of you guys, and God, this falls on Steph Curry, who can just, when he gets tired, man, when he starts losing legs, Steph is sloppy as shit with the basketball, man. He really is. And I don't know if that's going to get any better at his age. But, man, what a frustrating year it's been. A frustrating year it has been for the Golden State Warriors. And I don't know how much longer I really want it to go on. Maybe they need that tough lesson of, hey, you had a one-and-done playoff game against the Kings. You fucking lost. And now go deal with it. If you think you can just run all this back next year, you just had an entire season worth of data points present. No, you really can't. You can't run this all back again. So, tough choices are going to be needed. Damon is goated. Bay Area radio host, 95.7 stupid. Here's the thing. I don't think sports talk radio is stupid. I just know it's got a business model that isn't doing business anymore. My man Carl Kelsick, who spent an awful lot of time in radio, terrestrial radio is going quietly into that night. It sure is. It sure is, especially here in Northern California. Like, I can't help to see that other cities, other afternoon and morning drive hosts in other markets who've been very successful still have their jobs because they have sales forces who can go on and sell like commercials. In the Bay Area, you can't do that anymore. You can't. You cannot go out and sell ads on the radio. You have you'd be a moron for buying ads on a radio. Why would you do blanket coverage advertising when you can go on the internet and do specifically targeted to your future customer advertising? That's what killed newspapers. No one's taking out classifieds anymore. Everyone's going to Craigslist. And when you can't do the business that is built around the entire industry, your industry goes away. I know that radio feels like a broadcasting business. It's not. It's an advertising business. And there's no more advertising in radio in the Bay Area. It's just not happening. Carl, always great to see you, man. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. Love you. Love you. Red Jet. Damon's the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Debate it all you want. Thank you, Red Jet. I appreciate that. And again, do you want Steph Curry? Yes or no? Like, yes, of course I want Steph Curry. Go ahead. Give me Steph Curry, as much Steph Curry as you can. I love the Golden State Warriors. More than any other team that I've covered, that's the team that I root for with regularity. I really want to see them carry games through, and that's why it's been such a frustrating year because, they just had one problem that if you solve this one problem, you're going to be so much better, and they never bothered even trying to correct it. Never once was be careful with the basketball a directive from a player, a coaching staff, a position group, nothing. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. Again, they score just fine. They rebound better than anybody else in the NBA. I don't even know how, but they do. They waited too long, Steve Kerr did, to go to Trace Jackson Davis. They waited way too long in the early season to send the message to Clay that without better production, you're going to the bench. Moses Moody spent way too much time on the fringe of this, rotation. Looking back, everything is, you can see it in 2020. But we were talking about this as it was happening as well. So it's I guess it's disappointing that the Warriors are probably more responsible for poorly tracking their own identity than anybody out there. So, what else have we got going on? Before we get to things we watched over the weekend, let's talk about what we might be watching in 11 days from now. There's no might about it. It's the it's the NFL draft. The NFL draft is next Thursday. Cannot wait for it to get here. As Larry and I were talking about this morning, I am so sick and freaking tired of Brandon Ayuk rumors, which I don't even think are coming from Camp Ayuk. I think it's coming from, people looking for clicks and content who keep on saying, well, Brandon Ayuk, he's not happy, or Brandon Ayuk has unfollowed the 49ers. Yeah, that always happens. But we saw Debo do the same thing. The whole I'm not following you anymore is just some candy ass shit, but it's generation candy ass shit. So he's part of it. I'm not. I don't get it. But there you go. Unfollow, unfriend, unlike. He'll be clicking follow on any team that gives him his next contract. We know that. We've officially reached the point where Brandon Ayuk either will be or won't be traded. That's it. I know that's not exactly inside analysis for you, but I'm tired of talking about it. I'm very tired of talking about what might happen. This is a delicate negotiation that I think has got more manufactured drama being applied to it than necessary. I think there's a lot of reasons to bring in Brandon Ayuk back. I also think that if you did trade him and addressed Brandon Ayuk either through the draft, a free agency, or somehow, some way, in a trade, somehow, whatever, that he's not an irreplaceable player. He's going to be tough to replace. He's clearly Brock Purdy's favorite target. But it's not and Brandon Ayuk didn't play, and the 49ers missed the playoffs. I don't think it's that. So I don't need these updateless updates. We will know soon enough as to what happens. And I'm officially ready for the decision, not the prospects of any decision when it comes to Brandon Ayuk. Too much nonsense in the world. Too much nonsense. All right. Larry and I talked about some wide receivers that the 49ers should absolutely be targeting in this upcoming draft, with or without Brandon Ayuk. You know, I think all these guys could be day 2 picks. All these guys maybe are there if the 49ers just stand pat at 31. But I don't think they're going with a wide receiver in their first pick, whether they trade Brandon Ayuk or not, to be totally honest with you. But receivers that you should be getting to know and familiarize yourselves with. Xavier Legette out of South Carolina. 6'3", 227, massive production last season. He feels like a Shanahan type of player. Roman Wilson is a 6 foot tall, 192 pound wide receiver out of Michigan who's great at the point of contact, great at the point of the catch, and really good as a downfield blocker. Again, he comes out of Jim Harbaugh's offense. That makes an awful lot of sense. Guys who will probably be there on day 3 of the draft that I'd really like to see the 49ers add. 5'11", 210-pound wide receiver out of Western Kentucky, Malachi Corley. He is the screen machine. He caught more balls in screen targets over the last 3 seasons than basically anybody else, and we know that the 49ers love their wide receiver screens. I think that Malik Washington, who is just a pepper pot of a player, he's 5'8", 191 pounds, and what does Kyle Shanahan covet more than any other attribute in his receivers? Yards after catch. This guy led college football with 110 receptions and then posted 710 yards after the catch with 387 coming after contact, according to Pro Football Focus. He's exactly the style of player that Kyle Shanahan's found an awful lot of success with, and he could be a day 3 choice for the Niners. So a couple of names there to keep an eye on. He's also got a 42.5-inch vert, which means he can hop. Let's see. The ball, for a moment there, was hopping out of the Tropicana Dome down in St. Petersburg, but then, the fun ended quickly, and Blake Snell is doing anything other than quickly getting ready for this year as he's using his first few starts here as spring training starts. He's not been good. He's all around the strike zone. He's a nibbler, and he got rocked by the Tampa Bay Rays. It's only 2 starts. This is not who Blake Snell will be at the end of the year. I'm certain of that, but it's not a good start. And again, the Giants, they got Jordan Hicks, who's been a nice story so far. Michael Conforto's been a nice story. It feels like Tyler Fitzgerald might have been enough decent story here in the early going, but he's not getting enough at-bats. Yet they continue to run out Mike Yastrzemski like there's going to be an answer there. There's no answer coming from Mike Yastrzemski other than who's most likely to go 0 for 4 today with a couple of strikeouts. That's Mike Yastrzemski. He answers that question. But answering this is a major league presence in the lineup, not even close. Not even close. And it's not just all his fault. It's a frustrating season because they're on the edge of being good. And will they either get to being good or will they slip off that edge? The other thing that happened over the weekend, obviously, was a little golf tournament in the state of Georgia. The Masters took a fantastic nap. Even told Jill, I'm like, Jillian, I need a little couch time today. I just got to watch the Masters. Can you take the boys outside so Jim Nance can whisper me to sleep? She's like, yeah, I'll do that. So thank you, Jillian. I enjoyed the Masters. Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world right now. While everybody kind of lost their composure around him, he didn't even blink. It's like, I don't even know if he played great golf. It's just as everybody else got a little nervous, he didn't. He didn't. Morikawa faded. Oberg faded. Homa faded. Scheffler just kept on walking from tee to green, never blinking, never getting worried. He had a couple birdies around Amen Corner, and that's that. That's that. You know, on the leaderboard, if you got one guy birdieing around Amen Corner while the other guys ain't, the guy with the birdies is going to win the Masters. Like, that's just how it's gone lately. Scheffler played his final 10 holes at 4 under par. Everybody else was retreating. And there you go. There is your Masters. The second green jacket in the last 3 years. It's his second major. Confirmation of his world -- ranking. Ludwig Oberg was sort of the guy that we discovered in this Masters. Hadn't seen him before. The Swedish kid seemed like he had a great attitude, good smile. Like to see his career kind of take off. And Vern Lundquist ends his career. Thanks for the memories, Vern. Guy's one of the absolute best to have ever done it. So there you go. That's the show. We're going to hop into a little Club Plus right here, see what everyone is thinking about, typing about, talking about. Oh, my God, I told you that we were brought to you by my good friend Ike's, but I forgot to show you what a handsome devil he is. Let me tell you, I want you to get to Ike's. I want you to get there this week. You got hundreds, thousands of sandwich options just waiting for you at Ike's. And you don't need to wait to get there. They'll deliver it. Download the Ike's app, start earning your way towards free sandwiches. And again, look at Ike's Catering. If you're thinking about what are we going to do around the office for lunch today, you want to be like the most popular office manager there is, make the decision that's going to leave everybody happy. Bring in Ike's for lunch into your office this week and do it on the Ike's Reward app. And that way you start earning your way to free sandwiches when you buy all those sandwiches for your office. See? And then wash it down at the Dubliner, baby. Love me some Dubliner. Won't be this coming weekend, but we're going to do a little meetup at the Dubliner soon enough. I'm going to be in Las Vegas this coming weekend. The wife and I are going away for a little weekend trip. We can't get away. We have not been away from the kids since we brought home Jack. We have not had a weekend, just the two of us, in 4.5 years. 4.5 years. We're really looking forward to just a little Damon Jillian time this coming weekend. We'll be flying back from Las Vegas on Monday morning. So next Monday, maybe we'll do a little something, sit down in the afternoon together. But I'm going to be a little bit of a tired soldier, worn out after a long weekend at a couple fish shows at the Sphere in Las Vegas. But we will be planning an event at the Dubliner soon. Dubliner on West Portal is just this awesome bar. It is caught in between being an Irish bar and a sports bar and a perfect neighborhood bar and a dive bar and not a dive bar. It's everything a bar is supposed to be. Get to the Dubliner. Fantastic place. And there you go, my friendly friends. Huge game for the Warriors tomorrow night. I think Kruger and I are going to be doing a little bit of a Warrior post game together with a few other folks popping on into that show. We're looking forward to doing that. I mean, the playoffs are here. Kind of. It's play-in game, play-off game. I know if they lose it, they're out. So don't want to do that. You don't want to see the Kings lighten a beam because that means your year has been completely extinguished. So you don't want that happening. Don't want that happening. So there it is. There you go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please keep downloading that podcast. And if you are listening today, this is where we say thank you so much and so long. Sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Squeaky disco ball. And when are we ever going to replace the squeaky disco ball? The answer is, I don't know. It feels very replaceable. We just have not done it yet. What do we got? We just got Ernie Chavez, 95-7 Doobie winner. What does that mean? What's the Doobie Award? Is that is something new happening on that station I don't know about? I don't know. Congratulations, Ernie, on your doobie, and have a great day. Michelle Haberman, crazy love as always. Damon, I can see you coming on for a segment as like a godfather, dropping some knowledge. What I didn't understand is there I was in Vegas together. I'm seeing KNBR. They could wave me over. Come do a segment with us, Damon. It would only be our most listened to segment of the entire fucking Super Bowl. But no, they didn't ask me over. So there you go. I don't know what to tell you. I can't make their choices for them. Let's see. Little advice here from Big Mac 8675. It's easy to just hit the block button on trolls. I've already done so for a handful of the peeps. I think we got to really get back to the world where we stop engaging with people who are clearly just trying to get under our skin and just, block, mute, walk away from an argument that you can't win because it's not an honest argument being made on the other side of the argument. So there you go. Let's see. And again, Big Mac saying, dude, Damon's loose here. You can't put him back in that cage. It would be a little weird to go back to the radio. It would be. I mean, I got enough muscle memory where I could do that. But I like to be hanging out here and not worrying about anything that we could say at all. Happy 415 Day. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? It's 415 Day, Rockin' New Era. I have no idea. What's 415 Day? Something supposed to happen? I don't know. Let's see. What else we got going on? What else we got going on here? I guess this is about the Warriors here from my man Postman saying the last 2 years have been frustrating. Really have been. It's like the Warriors nuked their own year last year. And this year, when they decided we're going to do something other than nuke it, they just went back to the bad ideas that they used to be able to survive, and they no longer can. Like they never admitted to themselves who they really were. That's what's frustrating about the Warriors. And I've already seen them touted like they've got the best winning percentage in the history of 10 seeds. Come on. Who cares? 4 years is the history of 10 seeds. Is that how long we've been doing this now? The Warriors are in this play-in tournament way too often. Full stop. Period. End of discussion. They have, again, it is their veteran talent that is supposed to be the difference in are you sloppy or are you not? And their veteran talent is responsible for more slop than the rookie point guard, Brandon Pajemski, than guys coming off the bench. I don't get it. 2 future Hall of Fame point guards and turnovers are a problem always. Doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. Okay. What else we got going on? We don't have trolls in the chat today, do we? Is that what's going on? People upset about that? Michelle, she's all over the breaking news of today's show. Brandon Ayuk either will or won't be traded. You heard it here first. There you go. Here's the thing. It's the most honest position anyone could take. Like the chain of dominoes have already been pushed. It's going to go in one of two directions, and everyone just needs to let it play out here. Just let it play out. Constantly, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? I don't know, but we'll all know by next Thursday, right? What do we got? Still people debating San Fran, 415, Frisco. What can you call it? What are you not allowed to call it? I don't even care anymore. I'm tired of that debate. It's like the whole thing about the national anthem. I don't even care anymore. Like, I'm never going to get upset about a song one way or the other ever again in my life, and I would recommend you don't. We got to pick and choose our battles. I'm not battling that anymore. I don't care anymore. I don't get you call it San Fran, call it Frisco, I don't give a shit. I don't care anymore. What else have we got going on here in the chat? Giants need to turn that page. Stat, E. Scott Burns. Again, where's Luis Matos? How come he's not taking Mike Yastrzemski's at-bats, for Christ's sakes, at this point? I do know this. You know what Mike Yastrzemski's got to offer? Very, very little in his present and even less in the future. So what is he still doing? Why is he still in the lineup as often as he is? I don't get it. Just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's the thing. Would Mike Yastrzemski even be on the team if his last name were Smith? Or are they just trying to get, Yastrzemski, that's such a baseball name. Can't say goodbye to him. I don't get it. Look, he's a very nice guy. I like him, but just ridiculous. What else? Ludwig. Only 24. I like the name Ludwig. I'm not going to lie. Ludwig Oberg with a with a little donut on the top of it. Very Swedish. Very Swedish. There you go. Chef A. Ludwig is hot. Chef A. Wants a little Ludwig. Mark Graves. Damon, how's the pastrami? At Ike's, it's fantastic. Get yourself a Paul Rubens. Great pastrami sandwich. Great. True Blue Forever saying, Vern was the voice I grew up with in Texas. He called Cowboys radio until 83. Guy's just a pro's pro, says Irwin, and you're right. Dude, what a voice. Like, what chops. I even tweeted this weekend, like, between Vern Lundquist and John Miller, I don't know who's got a better broadcasting voice in my lifetime. Elite baritone pipes on both of those guys. San Bruno Mike says, Damon. We did lunch at Ike's at my job. I was the hero for suggesting it. I told them I know a guy. You do know a guy, and you are a hero for suggesting it. You're office MVP. Damon, what about a hangover plus on Monday? No, we're going to be flying back. It's a thing. It's a day of travel. But Smiley Dan knows what we're traveling back from. Fish at the Sphere, 420 weekend. Yeah, we're going to get down. We are going to party. Can't wait to see that place. What the big deal's all about. Larry saying Club Plus is what I sub for. Well, thank you very much, Larry. I appreciate that. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing. And remember, memberships are available. It's been a long time since Sports Bane has made an appearance. It could be happening soon. E. Scott Burns saying, is there any news on the theme music for your show? No, I didn't know there was supposed to be. It's going to be a long time before we can afford the Killers. So there you go. Roddy Richards saying Mark Pope's going to be more successful at Kentucky than Mike Woodson has or ever will be at IU. Careful what you ask for there, Roddy, because I'm telling you right now, Mike Woodson, I don't know if I like him as a coach. I really don't. Jury's still out on a game day coach, Mike Woodson. What are you? I don't like his rotations. I don't like how he sees the floor. It's way too much inside out with not enough out. And it's a little frustrating. Having said that, Mike is in that transfer portal right now, going straight up portal combat. Portal combat. They just added, Miles, what's the kid's name? From Washington State, who was a freshman Pac-12 all-conference player. He's coming to IU, baby. And we'll get more. I mean, here's the thing. What we got at Indiana is open roster spots, millions of NIL dollars to spend, and a level of attention that very few schools can offer anybody. So there's reasons to come to IU. We ain't done yet. Smiley Dan knows what I'm talking about. How about Boogie Flan decommitting from Kentucky? Indiana was his number 2. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of Kentucky guys now backing out. The Calipari's not there anymore. And you're right about this. Sam Bruno, Mike, the squeaky disco ball is kind of part of the show by now. It really is, right? I mean, it's like my co-host, squeaky disco ball. That's how I used to describe Ray Ratto. He's my squeaky disco ball. Happy 415, 5 days before 420. Is it 415? Is that a thing? Is it 415 day? I don't know. Moves like Abdul-Jabbar, says Damon the Goat. Nah, look, I'm definitely not that, but boy, I sure appreciate you being here. I really do. And I thank you very, very much. For the very first time, the Warriors start the playoffs with an elimination game. Yeah, we're just jumping right to Game 7 here, I guess. Chef A, once you go tube, you can't go back. Yeah, baby. True Blue forever. Air donging. What's going on? We got that. Ozzy's getting potty trained right now, and after he gets off the potty, he runs around and air dongs it for a little while, shirt cocking it all over the house. What else? Larry, you're right. Pods and TJD have been great rooks. You really can't ask for more. Both of them need to be on the all-rookie team. Both of them. Both of them. They've been good. They've been very good. I do think that they're going to beat the Kings. After that, crapshoot. It's all crapshoot after that. There's just an inconsistency on both teams that I can't trust either. Like, which Kings team is about to show up? No clue. Which Warriors team's about to show up? No clue. The fact that they've got a better road record than home record means maybe this isn't bad that the Warriors are on the road, but again, one and done. You'd like that game to be at home. They didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve it. Just frustrating year, man. What's going to be better for next year? What could happen at the end of this season that'll make next season better for the Warriors? And I honestly think it might be just a loss to the Kings, and that's where it ends, and you just got hit in the face with a shaving cream pie of reality that makes the Warriors think it's officially time to change things up here. And if they don't start changing things up, there's There's no coming back from not changing things up. Not changing things up is what you got right here. This is what that looks like. Steely Dan referred to San Francisco as Babylon's sister. Shake it. Well, Babylon by the Bay. Like that's its old, the good old fashioned. Yeah, Babylon. There we go. Babylon sister. Isn't that what you said? Yeah, that's what you said. Thank you, Native Dancer. Yeah, Babylon by the Bay. I always thought that was a pretty good nickname. Always thought that was a pretty good nickname. So there you go. Hell of a show today. Sporticus, you're so right. Portal is free agency. I think the transfer portal is good, but you should only get once. You should only get to transfer once under transfer portal rules. It shouldn't be this, I go to 4 schools in 4 different years because coaches yell at me and I don't like to be yelled at and I'm never going to get better. It just, having to tiptoe around freshmen as a coach isn't good for coaching or the freshmen being coached. Oh, you know what? Rockin' New Era 85 or 84 said, Damon, we told Thin Tim that you said hi on Friday. I got a text from Thin Tim over the weekend saying that he heard about that, saying thanks for saying hello. And I said, all best to you. Say hello to the OGs still walking around KMBR over there who I know. Thin Tim, always a good guy. Let's see. Now, there's a sentence you could never say on the radio. I don't even know which one of those today you're talking about, Michelle, but this is what I like doing over here. I just get to be me, and I gotta be me. San Bruno Mike, dude, shirt cocking it. It's a guilty pleasure. Take advantage. Jack and Ozzy. Yeah, we got freaking little wieners bobbing all over this house all day long. My boys. My good friends, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. What an awesome group you are. Like and subscribe, all of those good things on your way out. I thank you so very, very much for being here today. Looking forward to talking to you tomorrow. How about this? So tomorrow, we're going to have a little preview of Warriors Kings, obviously, but we're also going to start the show with an interview with a guy named Joe Pimplano, who is one of the brightest sports business guys out there. He does a newsletter called The Huddle Up, which I've been reading for years. I've been looking forward to having Joe on the channel for a while now, and tomorrow's the day that he's coming on. So Joe Pimplano is going to join us on the show. We're going to be previewing Warriors and Kings. We're going to be looking at what's ahead for the Giants this week and all good things. Thank you so very much for being here, being a part of all this. Thanks to Ike's, thanks to the Dubliner, thanks to all of you. You're the best, absolutely the best. Please do remember that you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.